everybody. It's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here to talk about Army of the Dead, Zack Snyder's, as I like to call him, Sacked Snyder's new film on Netflix. Another bad one, huh? Yeah. Well, I gotta be honest, I didn't even finish this one. I turned it off at a certain point. I don't know, it was like maybe more than a third of a way in. I don't know. I don't really care. It was so bad. It started off really good. I liked the opening scene. It had this, pretty cliche opening scene where you have the guy getting a BJ and then you have the other people and they're not paying attention and then there's a crash. We've seen that in like Halloween 2 with Rob Zombie where the medical guys are driving the paramedic truck and then they crash. Okay, that was stupider. I know that. They crash into the fucking cow. And that was stupid. And then Michael Myers comes out and we're not talking about that one. We're talking about Army of the Dead. But I'm just saying, it's something we've seen a million times before. But since it was done so well, and since it was such it was a good scene. It was a good scene. And then we find out that these army guys are carrying a zombie. And the zombie basically kills these two army guys that are left and all these other army guys and turns them into zombies because apparently zombies, some people they just turn and then others they eat. Like it's not like what? Because with these two army guys, he just bites them on the neck and that's it. And then basically we get this little opening credits Zombieland montage where we see like all these different guys surviving with the zombies and killing them and going through adventures through the zombie world. And then we basically we see these characters, they're all over the place, and one of them, Dave Bautista, is recruited to commit this heist, go into this casino and break into it, and then he goes around recruiting all the people we saw in the montage. It sounds pretty good, right? Like, it sounds like a fun movie. It sounds like something, oh, okay, that sounds like a fun movie. It's just so bad. It's just so bad, though. It's so bad. I didn't know he could do... I don't know how to rank these movies anymore. The movies that have come out this year are just so terrible. It's like one bad movie after the other. Like, just come on, give me one good movie. We got a couple of good movies. They're okay. They're not anything special, but come on. You can't use the pandemic as an excuse because this movie would have happened with or without the pandemic. So that's not an excuse. And then I'd like to talk about, I'll save the cancel culture thing for the end because there is something a little bad with the cancel culture going on with this movie, but I'll save that for the end. But the problems that I had that made me turn it off, the dialogue was horrendous. And I know sometimes I stumble around with words. It's just because I have so many thoughts that come out at once and they just I just can't control it. Just so many different thoughts and it's hard sometimes. But the dialogue in this movie, some of the dialogue, I was like, are these humans? Like, are these humans or NPCs or like aliens or something? Because they don't talk like regular people. And some of the dialogue is just so terrible. I was laughing at some of the dialogue. That's how bad it was, this dialogue. The effects are good. I'll give it that. The effects are good. You can't really question the effects. Obviously the effects are going to be good, hopefully, in a 2021 movie. So I can't really give it props for that. Any movie that has a budget should have good effects. Any movie without a budget should have good effects. There shouldn't be any excuse for effects anymore. Effects are some of the easiest part of a movie is effects. The only trouble is just getting the audience to believe it. You could have a really good effect, and then the audience doesn't believe it because it doesn't look good on camera. And the other way around, too. But yeah, I was just really not into this movie. The characters, I don't like. In fact, the only character... I like Michael Jai White, the actor, because he's Spawn. He's always going to be my Spawn. As a kid, Spawn was my favorite movie, and Spawn was my favorite, hero. He was the best, and so I like him, but I don't like the character. He's trash. I don't like Dave Bautista's character. He's boring. I don't like the daughter. She's boring. I don't like any of these characters. In fact, the only character whom I liked was probably the Shades guy. Shades from Luke Cage. Even though he was bad, he was a bad guy, I like the fact that he has a character, and that he's not like this boring leading man or leading woman cliche. There's so many times in movies where we see a character and they're just the leading man or the leading woman. And here you had this guy who's like an abuser, and he's like a really sleazy guy. He's bad. He's terrible. And you think, wow, this is perfect, because spoiler alert, he has to end up working with them. I mean, he's on the poster, I think. So I hope that's not a spoiler, but he has to end up on the team too. And I thought that's going to be really cool, because I love it in movies when there's characters who don't like each other and they have to work together, and then they end up having to save each other. They have to get into really tough situations and trust each other, even though they don't like each other. In fact, in my 2 film scripts that I've written, that's happened in both of them. And so I really like that type of thing. And then what happened was they say, F that! And that's all I'll say. F that! So I was really pissed off and disappointed, and that's why I turned it off. It's dragging. It's just not anything special. Obviously, I'm not going to give it a rating. I might finish watching it. It's just, I really did not like what I was seeing. It was so stupid. It was just, zombies are apparently smart now, and they have a kingdom. And what the fuck? Do you know why the term zombie was created? Do you know the meaning of the word zombie? Zombie means don't think. Zombie means someone who is like, ugh. How can someone who says, ugh, be someone who can be so smart and be like this tactician and have this kingdom system, and you have to make a sacrifice to them, you have to bow down to them, all sorts of shit, apparently. What the hell is that? Nobody wants that. That is terrible. Please stop messing with zombies. Stop trying to do something edgy, do something different. It is not good. You know what? If you want to watch a good zombie movie made by Zack Snyder, go watch Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead is a good movie. It's in my top 25 of the 2000s decade of horror films, obviously. Not regular films. Well, it might be. I don't know. 2000s just got a lot of weird movies. Got a lot of comedies and stuff. But go watch Dawn of the Dead. Something else, too, is the budget. Because I know a lot of people are going to be blinded by the spectacle. They're just going to watch it and say, oh my god, the effects. It looks so cool. Oh my god, the action. But it's really not anything special. It's stuff we've seen before time and time again. And you know what? Rob Ager, He's a YouTuber. I highly recommend you check out his zombie film, Turn in Your Grave. I think it's still available on his website, CollativeLearning.com. That was a really good movie. And that was made for, like, hardly anything. I think that was made for, like, what, $10? $10 over the weekend with some people in England who just like making movies. That movie is way better than this. And that movie has a tiny percentage of the budget that this movie has. And so I think that Zack Snyder, he got carried away with this movie. It was a passion project. It was just something fun he could do, something that he could do and he could just go all out with. And I think that was a huge mistake for him, because people don't take him seriously. They think he's trash. You know, you got all these Snyder cult fans who just worship him like he's Jesus, like he's their Jesus of film, and he's not. He's not really done anything with film that's special. He's not done anything with film that's pushed the boundaries, except for, I guess, some of the action in his films, like a Man of Steel. That's really good. But he is not what people make him out to be. And I think that since he just goofed off with this movie, he made a big mistake, because now people are never going to take him seriously again. This was his chance to make Dawn of the Dead Part 2. This was his chance to make a movie that people said, wow, Zack Snyder is really good. He's not that shitty hack who made BVS, Man of Steel, and Justice League. Ugh. He's not that. He's actually a talented guy. When he has original properties and he does it all himself and he puts his effort into it, he's a really good director. No. Not gonna happen, man. Not gonna happen. After this movie, this terrible trash movie, this movie is a disaster. It is an epic failure. It's a blockbuster. It's a turn your brain off blockbuster with nothing new, nothing interesting, and stuff that, you know, just... I mean, just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Stop now. And now I'd like to talk a little bit about cancel culture, because it is a very relevant problem in society nowadays. People getting canceled over allegations and it's almost like they're not allowed to be a human being anymore. It's like, oh, that person did something wrong. That person can never be allowed to do anything again. They have to be cut out from history. They have to be erased from the world. They can't have a job. We're going to call their job and destroy their lives. It's a sickening problem in society. And one of the actors in this movie, Chris D'Elia, whatever the fuck that guy's name is. He's a shitty comedian, bargain bin, trash YouTube comedian. He's trash. On one hand, I was glad that he was cut out of this movie because he's trash, and honestly, you should have done a better job at casting. But number two, on the other hand, it is upsetting because they canceled him because of these allegations. He got arrested, whatever the fuck happened. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with his film. It has nothing to do with this film. It has nothing to do with his performance. Was he abusing girls on the set of this movie? Sorry about that, everyone. Sorry. I can't control these shitty trucks driving at certain times. But he did not abuse girls on the set of this movie. None of the actresses from this movie were abused by him while filming this movie. So why in the fuck was he cut from this movie? And he was replaced with this other woman, and when you put them side by side, it's hilarious. I mean, what a downgrade. That's like going from Tony Stark to going to that 10-year-old kid who dresses like Tony Stark for Halloween. The character, though, I don't think that either casting choices were right, but that's beside the point. I don't know why in the hell this guy was replaced. I think they had already finished filming the movie. I don't know the specifics. If they didn't, I would understand, kind of, because they did that with, it's just cancel culture. It's just typical of Hollywood to do this type of thing, to cancel someone, take them out. Okay, because of allegations, and because of something that has nothing to do with the film, we're going to take this person out and pretend like they never existed and replace them. Like, that's just sickening. And that had nothing, and let me assure you, that had nothing to do why I turned off the film. I separated that from the film. And if that dipshit was in this movie, I would have separated that from the movie too. Because let me tell you something. That character was trash. I didn't like him anyways. I didn't like that character anyways, I guess, played by a woman now. I didn't like her anyways. I didn't like that character. It's just, none of the characters were good. You're supposed to just like them because they're the characters, and I guess you're supposed to get to know them through the movie, which I guess I can't do that, can I? And so, yeah, I really did not like this movie, and I don't care what people think. I don't care. I mean, I'm sure that there are other people who thought the same thing. And I really hope, though, that the people who like this movie have fun with it, and I hope that more people have fun with it. I'm not trying to take enjoyment out of anyone else's experiences, but I'm just saying cancel culture is bad, and for someone to be canceled out of this movie because of something that had nothing to do with the movie is terrible. I mean, do you know how many actors from so many decades of film have done terrible things? I mean, have you ever heard of Roman Polanski? I mean, are you telling me that they should take Roman Polanski out of the Tenet because he did what he did in real life? No. That has nothing to do with the film. Nothing. Separate the art from the artist. Get rid of cancel culture. Don't watch this movie. Don't watch Army of the Dead. It's a trash movie. It's not worth it. There are so many other zombie films that are better. Dawn of the Dead, Zombieland, Shaun of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead original, Night of the Living Dead, Night of the Living Dead, Tom Savini remake, Day of the Dead original. So many zombie movies. This is not it. This is terrible. And so if you like this video, this rambling 18-minute nonsensical video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, tell me what you thought about this trash movie, Army of the Dead. And then subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see, obviously, if you'd like to see more videos where I review movies. Because I'm telling you something else. I won't do this with every movie. I won't give up on every movie. This is just, it's a 2.5-hour film, and I did not like what they did. I thought that it was bad, and I just did not want any more of it. I haven't, in fact, I don't think any movie that I've reviewed, that I've actually reviewed, is something that I turned off. So yeah, this is a first, I'll say that. Congratulations, Zack Snyder. This is the first movie that I've reviewed on this channel that I actually turned off. Clap, clap, clap. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.